see. Yay. What did we think of the first 11 chapters? Did we all finish? Okay. Us two, I don't know if we were the same order, but us two up here, we didn't. I'm on chapter 10, so like I almost did.
You didn't miss too much if you're on chapter 10.
Yeah, I figured. I kind of like skimmed through and I was like, well, it doesn't seem like there's much, but it's, I'll be okay.
Only got about a little over halfway.
I finished it this time, surprisingly.
Yay, Rico.
There was a romantic comedy this time.
I like it. It's very cheesy.
I think that makes me laugh a lot as I'm reading it, which is nice.
Yeah.
I actually think the part that I liked the most, Crystal, you might not have read it yet, but I think Judith would have read it, was when like the whole fire thing happened and the dude goes out and he feels completely humiliated, and like all of his assumptions about how things were completely shattered. I kind of liked that because so far it had just been kind of like, you know, he knows everything, and you know, I like that he got taken back a little bit, and, you know.
So there is a fire? They joke about a fire at the grocery.
Yeah, they joke about it and it actually happens.
It's like with a pan that's burning in the street.
Yeah.
I thought that was hilarious because in my head I was like, how come you don't just like put it on the ground? But it was dramatic.
I guess they really don't know anything
How to
about
cook.
anything.
They're like super spoiled. They have everything done for them, so they don't know what they don't. I mean, the fact that she was like cooking the meat and she's like, this looks like brains, I don't want to touch it. I was like, oh my god, like
she like was like, I'll just leave it, it'll cook, right? Like,
yeah.
You had ground beef, you know that it doesn't look like a giant block, right? But
yeah. That part was a bit of a turnoff to me in the beginning, how they were so spoiled, but then like as you start getting to know the characters more, they started growing on me, so I was like, okay, this will be fine.
Yeah, like they're not horrible, it's just obviously the environment they grew up in.
What was interesting is that they're 26 and 28.
They're like our age.
Something like that, I think.
And to me, I feel like as I read it, they sound like, or it reads as if they're little kids, which I think is pretty funny, but they're not.
Yeah, I think they mentioned Hannah's age again later, like in chapter 9 or 10, I don't remember which one. And they're like, oh yeah, she's 26. And I think what was that guy's name? Fox was kind of like, oh, you know? And I was like, 26? She does not sound like 26. She sounds like she's 15, maybe 12.
Yeah.
Like they don't know what to do. And I'm just like, oh my goodness.
I do think I liked how the guy was kind of like judging her, but then he found out like he messed up in judging her so hard. I feel like that was a good point in the novel, because it's always good to remember to not be super judgy. I feel like I was also judging them a little bit too at the beginning. That's why I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like the grumpy old man in this book.
Well, they definitely didn't start off on a very flattering light with her, you know. Like, I guess at the very beginning, the only thing you kind of like felt bad about was how like the guys were treating her, like, you know, but otherwise you're just like, oh god, like she seems like a mess, and she seems like she's really spoiled. But then like maybe you start getting hints that like, you know, she clearly has some issues that she's dealing with, and then there's obviously like her lifestyle's not always necessarily her fault, at least like until now, like she was brought up a certain way. So she starts getting a little bit more sympathetic as the chapters go on.
Yeah.
But initially I was just like, oh god, okay.
When she did the whole hotel thing and she ended up in jail, I was like, why would you? And I mean, I get it. She was trying to like cope with what had happened, but at the same time, I'm like, in what mind? Who does that? But hey, you know.
Also, hilariously, I went to the Mondrian this weekend, but it was in WeHo, not in downtown. So I actually like I noticed that like when we were out because it was my birthday, so we were going to like a few bars, and I was like, oh my god, I'm like the girl on the book. I'm at the Mountain. I'm gonna go and like crash. There's nothing to crash, by the way. It's outdoors. Like maybe there's one downtown. Haven't been, but the one in WeHo is just like a outdoor. There's nothing to crash. There's a pool, and then there's like outdoor stuff. Nothing to do.
I think that's what they did though, right? I mean, there was like many people there that just broke into the pool area and had fireworks.
But the book described like breaking glass and stuff like that, like a door to go inside or something.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Well, happy belated birthday, Paola.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Thank you guys.
I was gonna message you and be like, why don't you tell us? But you know,
No.
it's weird to be like, hey guys, it's my birthday. My birthday's coming. You know. But happy belated birthday. I hope you.
Thank you.
Belated birthday. Should we sing?
Yes.
We do always sing. So
you do? Yeah. Is that a thing that we do in the book club?
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
I have to do this with everyone. Don't say this.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy
birthday
to you. Happy birthday, dear Paola. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you guys.
We're so out of
really
sync,
nice.
guys.
Hey, that's the white
Ramon's like, what the hell is that?
Oh man.
Just came out of the corner.
Yes. Wait, what date is your birthday so I can remember it for next year?
It was the 2nd.
Okay, sweet.
So that's why I was worried that I got COVID because we went out on Friday and now I'm sick. So I was like, oh God, did I get COVID on my birthday? But no, it's just like some virus or something.
A cold or something.
The cold.
Yeah.
And yeah, those still exist, but obviously since the pandemic, we're like, COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's your first
nervous.
thought. You're like, I have COVID.
Yeah. Let's see.
Hey, so what did you guys think of her punishment from her stepdad?
Random, but I mean, she probably needed to learn something about not having a privileged life. But also, I feel like it's probably his fault that she's like that. So
yes,
I think
totally agree.
Yeah, because it's not the first, second, or I think it's happened many times before.
But do you think it was only because like his funding for his movie got impacted, and maybe if
so.
it didn't, he would have just let her go on? So in a way, he was only doing it like because it affected him personally. So I feel like that's a little bit fake.
Yeah.
But it's good because she's been relying on her youth, and those are gonna fade. So then she'll just be like screwed for life. She needs to learn some skills before.
Yep.
Because she's not always gonna be able to get away with that. I like that her sister went with her, but then I kind of felt bad for the sister too because she had like her own career and stuff going on. But I think she would have been very lost without her younger sister there.
I didn't think she was gonna go through with it, and then when they're like, "Oh, 2 women," and I was like, "Who's the other person?" Because I thought she just wasn't gonna go, but it was very nice of her. I have a feeling because the sister has a boyfriend, right?
I think
she just likes him. I don't think they're official, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
I feel like they just don't have the guts to say something about it.
What if she ends up with Fox though?
Yeah. What was that?
What if she ends up with the guy that she went walking
That's what
with?
I think. I think the 2 like friends are gonna end up with the sisters. Obviously, we know Brendan and Piper, but I think like.
Did they ever say how old Fox was?
No.
No, right? Okay.
No, they didn't.
I don't think we know how old Brendan is either, right?
No.
I would assume like probably Piper's age or a little older. Because how long has it been since his wife died? Like, did he say 10 years? Or was it less?
Like 10 or 12, I think.
I thought it was 7.
Oh, I thought it was 7 too.
Oh, I could be wrong.
So probably late 20s, early 30s, right? Unless he got
Yeah.
married at really, really young.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. What you guys said about Fox and Hannah, because I did not imagine that or even think of that, because I imagine Fox being much older, but
or maybe it doesn't happen. Who knows? Or maybe it does.
We've watched too many Netflix
I
rom-coms.
was gonna say that. I feel like they always introduce that like one, like the main characters and then like the friends who, you know, it's the ideal, it's a dream to have your buddy with your buddy, and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe.
I was laughing when Brendan was making his Instagram account, or someone was making it for him. I was just, because he doesn't know how to use it, and he already like requested to follow her or something. And I'm like, that's embarrassing.
That's chapter 11, by the way.
I was like, okay, I haven't read any.
Oh,
Instagram.
sorry.
No, it's okay. I don't
That's
mind.
very funny.
It's really funny. It's really funny. Just like the whole thing is him not knowing how to use Instagram.
Oh,
That's the chapter.
I'm loving the banter in this book. It reminds me of some of like my very sassy friends, and I just find it very refreshing.
I agree. I actually catch myself smiling. Oh my gosh, like I can totally see this in like real life with friends or with myself, you know. I'm just like, yeah.
Because we're so sassy to each other usually.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, when they were saying the Instagram names, like, oh, why can't I just put my own name as a username? And they were telling him, oh, you should put this or that or
Like,
this.
Was it like crabs or something like that? Like
It was like
I got crabs for you or something like
Captain
that.
Cutie 69.
Oh god, that'd be bad.
And he wasn't understanding why he couldn't just put his own name because those names have already been taken. So it's just
Oh my
hilarious.
God. See, maybe he's like older.
Maybe he's like a generation above. Could be.
Yeah.
I think he's just like really cut off, and I guess because his wife died, he kept saying like, I love my routine keeps me safe or whatever. So he just always does the same thing, and he doesn't keep up to date with anything. So I guess that's why he's like the only person that could be around our age that doesn't even know what Instagram is.
That's true.
I mean, I understand maybe not having one, but not knowing anything, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's probably gonna go like liking everything, and she's getting all the notifications. Cringe.
Oh, but he is at sea for like years. So I
he doesn't get
see how he
service.
can be disconnected from all that. But yeah. I did find that routine thing interesting. I'm like, I don't know. I like routine, but if it just stayed the same for years, or him always having fish and chips and not trying pot pie because that's just not his thing, that's crazy.
Rico does that sometimes.
Really?
Have I told you the story about the fisherman's grotto?
No.
Okay, side story real quick. There's a fisherman's grotto in Monterey. It's my favorite restaurant to get clam chowder from just because it's super delicious, and that's where I've been going since I was little.
Is it the one on the pier?
It's yellow,
Oh,
and it has
so
like neon
good.
light.
I went there a few months ago. It was really good.
Yeah. Oh, that's one of my favorite places to eat in Monterey. And I went there to take Rico on a nice date, and I ordered a little cup of soup on the side with my like main dish. And the waiter like says, "Oh, do you want soup too?" But Rico kind of made a face, and he was like, "Oh no." And so I think he kind of like offended the waiter. And the waiter comes back with my little cup of soup and 2 spoons, and he's like, "Here, try it." So then Rico has to try it, and he was like, "Oh, it's good." And he ended up really liking it. And he wanted more. I'm like, "It's my cup of soup. You gotta get your own." And that's the story.
Yeah. I'm that one person that doesn't try a lot of new things.
It's picky.
Yep.
It is very good.
It is bomb.
I'll put it on my like to-go list.
Yeah.
I actually was thinking of like, because there's so much about like seafood in this, like as I was listening to it, I was like, oh, I want fish and chips.
I wonder though, like, because you were saying that he sticks so much to his routine, which is a theme I didn't pick up on as I was reading it, but I was probably just reading it too fast. Do you think that means though, like he's still stuck in the past? Like maybe he never fully finished grieving for his wife, and that's why he still has the ring. Like he's gotta let that go if he's gonna pursue something with Piper.
They did talk about that. I think.
She already has, like, in a way, kind of offended him, even though he played it off. But I think he was just trying to be cool because I don't think he knows how to show many of his emotions because he's like this big, tough, like ocean fisher guy.
There was a part where he was talking to a friend, and I can't remember his name, and it said, "Oh, it's been 7 years. You can not necessarily move on from her, but just like move on in general, or not get over her, but just move on." And it talked about a little bit about that in that. I can't remember where it is though.
But what a big contrast, because when it said that when Piper's dad died, like most of the women, when their fishermen husbands die at sea, they just have to like put on a brave face and just like continue like being there, moving on. And Piper's mom was like the one who didn't match the stereotype, I guess, because she went to move on and make a different life. But I wonder if that's like a thing that happens in their town culture. I feel like they just get stuck there unless something comes to like force you out of your comfort zone, kind of like Piper's forcing Brendan out of his comfort zone. But what if he's not ready?
It's making me think that maybe that's going to be their issue in their relationship. Where obviously, I mean, Piper has seen all these things and all that stuff. And I mean, I don't know if she would like to stay there. But I feel like if that was an option, I don't think he would move out. I think he would want to continue with like the sea and all that stuff, like his routine. And I don't know, I feel like that could be the make it or break it between them.
The deal breaker.
Yeah, it's kind of all he knows.
Exactly. Oh.
Angst.
And even the mom told her before she left that the fishermen will leave every single season or something, like, you know, even if they at the risk of dying. I forget exactly what the mom says, but
I think she said they'll always choose the sea over you.
Yeah.
I had forgotten about that. That's a good line. Ooh.
Because she's already lived it too, and it's your mom, so you know they're not gonna lie to you most of the time. Yeah, so I foresee like some big conflicts happening between them. I feel like one of them will have to agree to move out, or maybe when he goes on the boat, she's gonna go back to LA for like the while, and then when he comes back, she'll come back. But I feel like that wouldn't be a very consistent or stable life.
Yeah.
I like the dynamic because it seems like both of them have the potential to like help each other out and like help each of them grow, and like they both kind of are kind of stuck in a way. She's like stuck in her shallow kind of privileged existence, and he's stuck like doing the same thing over and over again, and it's like they both kind of need each other to push themselves. And
right,
of course it's going to be lots and lots of conflict, but also lots of potential
for growth.
Yeah.
Well said.
So it's not just like, I don't know, like some romance books where it's like one person and like then there's like the person that will you know help them change. But it's nice that in this one it's like they're both
more equal,
need to change.
I thought it was hilarious when Hannah was going to her work meetings through Zoom, because it's like modern.
It's very modern.
I just thought that was funny.
After being stuck in the 80s for Misery, I feel like it's also that part's also different. You know, it's like more relatable, like Instagram, technology.
I thought it was interesting that they have a whole memorial for the dad. And like they go there and they're just like, oh, we don't really know him.
Yeah, that was pretty sad.
Piper has to work through that as well, and probably Hannah too.
I wonder if the mom has gone back and seen that.
I feel like she hasn't, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I feel like she left and she's like, I don't want to think about it.
I don't want to remember.
I just want to move on and kind of like not necessarily erase that part of my life, but kind of.
That's so interesting. because that means that there's multiple characters who possibly have not like worked through like the grief or trauma that they have, like Piper with not growing up with her dad and the sister as well, then Brendan with his wife, and then who am I forgetting? The mom with the husband.
Well, I feel like the stepdad too, because he kept repeating his story. It sounded like
Which stepdad? Piper's stepdad.
Piper's stepdad, yeah. So I mean, I know he had to work pretty hard for everything he has, but because he said he didn't grow up with like any wealth or anything. So I feel like him as well.
Am I making this up? But did he also say he was like jealous of? Was he like jealous of the dead dad? Am I crazy? Like, was there something about that? I might be totally wrong. Or like, I don't know.
No,
like
I
when
don't.
he adopted her or whatever. When he adopted them.
Let me see.
I could be 1000% wrong. Sorry, guys.
Let's see.
Maybe it was when
Especially-
he was talking about the property. Maybe. Let me click.
Maybe.
It's in the beginning chapters.
I'm probably wrong.
I'm curious now.
I don't know, but I do find it, if I do remember, I feel like the stepdad is not like most stepdads or he's like kind of like, yeah, go ahead, go to like your dad's, what is it? It's not really city, like a little village or whatever. And I feel like, I don't know, I mean, I don't have a stepdad, but I feel like in movies or in other places, I don't think they usually would allow that. I feel like they're usually mean and, just kind of like forget about him. I don't know.
Well, the grandparents aren't in the picture. And
Yeah.
that's a big red flag to me.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think that was because they adopted the girls, right? Yeah, I remember that part. Does that mean he doesn't seem like a bad person, but why would the grandparents not be okay with it?
Paola, you were right. Look at this is what he says on page 23. We don't talk a lot about your past, the time before I married your mother. I'll admit that's mostly because I'm selfish and I didn't want reminders that she loved someone before me. I feel like that is a little Jelly Belly.
Response with "Aw."
Automatically.
So I don't know, maybe that's why, I don't know, he like was so adamant that maybe he was the one, maybe it was both. Maybe the mom like didn't want to think about the past because it hurt, and then the stepdad didn't want to think about it because he wanted to like totally move on from that, and that's why they don't know anything about their dad, and that's why the grandparents aren't in the picture. And
yeah, maybe that could be it. Like maybe they're blocking the paternal dad out and that the grandparents didn't like that. And the grandparents themselves might also be a reminder. So it could be triggering.
maybe their grandparents were like, we want them to come and learn the trade. And then the stepdad's like, hell no.
Hell no.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's interesting.
Oh, it's funny because it makes me laugh. Like I've heard like in some families that I know, like a joking, or maybe I've even seen it in memes, but like when like children of Mexican households start acting up, they're like, Mandalos a Mexico, so they can live their ranch life and like remember you. It kind of reminds me of this.
I thought it was interesting about, and I don't know if it's true, but are ships typically named after, or do they typically have women names?
Yes.
Yes.
I did not know that. And I thought Piper's response was very good in that, oh, you like the idea of a woman on a ship, but not actually. And I think,
Yeah.
yeah, I thought that was interesting. And his response was just, our friend's response was like straight up, like, yes.
I know.
I feel like he's very literal, like very black and white and very blunt. So that's why it's also really funny, their interactions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm wondering.
I was gonna mention that little quote he said, or I think she said it. Yeah, that the women protect them and they name the ships, but put them on the actual ship and they'll destroy them and then they'll be hell. And I was like, oh, that's so mean.
I think I've even heard that in pirate movies, like Pirates of the Caribbean, maybe, where it says like a woman on board is bad luck. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I remember that.
And they put you know how sometimes there's like a little mermaid gal in the front of like the old school ships?
Yeah.
She's supposed to like scare away like what are they called? Not the spirits, but
The mermaid?
the nymphs, like the ones that go seduce the sailors.
Oh, yeah.
And things like that.
I didn't know about that one. Wow. Guess we're not meant for the sea. It's okay. I don't have to go to the ocean.
My husband's dad is a captain. Well, not anymore. He runs a shipping boat company, but he used to like have his own boat. And he and his wife, like my mother-in-law, lived on a boat for like years. Not all this was before my husband was born, but so women can go on a boat, maybe just a cargo boat, not a fishing boat.
Yeah. You don't
like
want
the whole Captain Phillips thing, like those kinds of boats, like that's what he captained.
I used to watch this show on the Discovery Channel called, I can't remember.
Where they go fishing.
Yeah, but they go fishing for like king crab, and it's like pretty crazy.
Oh, Deadliest Catch.
Don't people
Yes.
die for sure on that show too, right? Like it's really dangerous.
It is considered I think it is considered in the book said it's
the deadliest profession.
Yeah, the
deadliest catch.
Yeah.
That's what it's called, right?
Yeah.
I think Crystal said it, yeah. But I'm like, oh my, I've never been out in the ocean when it's like rough. So I can't.
You can't begin to imagine.
Yeah, I can't imagine it. Just because, I mean, not only is it like rough, but they're like working like right on the edge of the ship trying to get the cages. It's pretty.
Yeah, is that what it makes it so dangerous? It's because they're like having to go into the waves to kind of catch the crabs. Is that why it's so?
Yes, but also because they're like out on the deck and they're working so close to all the cages, which are, I think they're like 800 pounds.
Oh.
They're also like throwing hooks out to catch the lines for the cages, and they got like rotating equipment. So yeah, it's pretty dangerous.
There's just a lot that could go wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. Because your copy of the book still in your car?
Yeah, it's outside. Do you need it?
No.
Oh shoot. I'm using a Kindle and I don't know how to work it. So I'm trying to figure out the pages and I'm just like, I don't know how to do this.
Rico has the book in his car, but we have the Kindle out here too. Oh, Crystal has her book.
Okay, cool.
On my little Audible.
So should we do, I forgot what I said last time because I don't have my notebook.
Was it like 70 something pages?
Yeah, I think that's what we said.
So we stopped at 107 or 106,
Obviously.
right?
Obviously.
Sorry, I was trying. It literally like makes you play it to look at the chapters. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
That was
16 maybe?
16 you said?
About how many pages?
70?
70? That's exactly 70.
To what chapter?
To stopping at 16.
Okay.
Ah,
Oh, that's a long chapter. 16 is a long chapter.
yeah, now that I'm looking at it, there's like several, like I'm looking at the timestamps, and those particular chapters are quite long compared to some of the later ones.
That's
so I was
what
like, oh my god, there's so few.
yeah, I was gonna say I feel like certain chapters are way longer.
Yeah.
Chapter 9.
I think.
Chapter 12 is almost 40 minutes.
Oh shoot. Do you think you said what 16, Crystal?
Stop at 16 because if you want to read to stopping at 17, you'd stop at 199. So that's like reading like 90 pages.
Yeah, chapter 16 is 38 minutes. It's pretty long.
So.
So read 12 through 15. Don't read 16.
Yeah. You think that's okay? I mean, I think the book isn't too complex.
This kind of book is easier to read.
Yeah. Okay. So 12 to 15. No, 16. And then we'll do.
So are we still reading until Sunday?
That's what I was going to ask.
Good question.
Do you guys think that would be okay? Here, how do I do it?
I think so.
I think I'd be able to
It's
do it.
okay.
I just felt like this past Sunday, there was like half of the group that was tired from the half marathon. Corina was at the wedding. Katie was at Disneyland. And I was like, well, there's only going to be like 2 people in the meeting. And then some of us we hadn't even started. So we're like, well, let's just, postpone it, get more people to read, and we'll see where we're at there.
I'll catch up for the next.
Yeah, I think.
So meet this coming Sunday, right?
Yes.
Or okay.
Sunday at 8. This time, I think we can do it. Anybody have huge events interfering?
No, not for a while. Thank
now.
goodness.
Okay, cool. Okay.
I have just parent-teacher conferences, but that doesn't interfere with the weekend.
Yeah, okay. So we'll do that.
I thought it was Tuesday, and Corina thought.
Oh, I almost forgot as well.
I'm like, oh, I need to read for tomorrow, and she's like,
what time is it? Oh my gosh! It was 6:30.
Yeah, the time changed too. I'm just like, oh, I'm so tired. I fell asleep a while ago, and I'm like, I can't fall asleep for the meeting. I can't.
I really like this time change. I really like it.
It saved me after the wedding because I was awake from like 5:30 to 12:30. So.
That's why.
I just don't like it that it
affecting
gets
people
dark
differently. I don't like that. That's the part I hate. That it's dark like at 4:30.
I like the morning part because it's already not like it's not so dark, but or it's darker longer, right? In the morning. Makes me feel like I'm early to work.
Okay, well, I'll see you on Wednesday.
See you in a few days. Have a good weekend.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.